is a structure which has an efficient public service delivery system, right? It exchanges information. This exchange in information is between government, between citizens, between businesses, between employees, all the factors of governance that we look up to, right? It provides the efficient delivery also. Then it also helps in administrative restructuring, and it provides the administrative restructuring. It also provides the internal efficiency of the government, the administration, or the overall aspect of it. So the holistic use of electronic administration comes over here, where if the internal administration is improvised, that can help in the outward reach also, where the overall service delivery can also be improvised, right? Cost reduction, overall cost of the governance or implementing a particular policy also reduces, so the benefits are being gained by the government. That is how the e-governance is created, right? Now, e-governance is basically created by e-government, right? E-government is a tool of e-governance which is used for delivery of government services and information to public through electronic means. When government becomes computerized, or it becomes digital, or it is brought over the electronic platforms, then it becomes e-government, right? E-government is basically formed of different types of processes, resources, technology. They are all brought together, and people those which are involved in the governmental processes, right? So people, process, resources and technology, they all mixed, they all club together, and digitalization of the government takes place. This basically is the structure of electronic administration only. This is the structure of electronic administration. So if we say electronic administration, or if we say e-government, it becomes more of a synonymous understanding. Electronic administration, when participation of all these, all different which are involved, different internal organizations, or different electronic administration, or different offices, departments, when they are all clubbed together and they start to participate. And one more aspect comes over here, that is the citizen starts to participate. So a bi-directional participation starts. The nodes of government, different departments, if they represent the different departments, then they are clubbed together, right? And if this is the citizen, right, and department, right? So benefits are being given to the citizens through digital means, and then citizens also provide the feedback, or a reverse or feedback loop is being created between the governmental departments and the citizens also, or grievance redressal, or in any way. If the communication is established between governmental departments and the citizens, it becomes a bi-directional mechanism of transfer of information or sharing up of the information. Ultimately, it becomes e-governance. So the overall participation of the stakeholders converts e-government into e-governance. Unless the outward movement of the internal digital revolution of the administration is not seen, or if we have converted the administration into a digital administration, its use is not being seen. There is no use of that computerization. It would only be a tool, it would only be an office tool, right? Just to improvise the office works, just to increase the efficiency, or just to decrease the amount of effort which is being laid upon in paperwork, or the problems in the paperwork. There is no use of electronic administration. But when electronic administration moves outwardly and start providing the benefits to the citizens, and those benefits are being laden over the networks or the digital tools, then it becomes e-governance, right? So these all remain as the major pillars of e-governance, where exchange of information, efficient public services, administrative restructuring, internal government efficiency, and cost effectiveness of providing the governance or reaching up to the governance is being catered, right? When we try to understand this thing also, there are peculiar differences that we can find between e-governance and e-government. What differences do we see when we say e-governance and e-government? E-government, in fact, it increases the quality of public services which are being provided, right? And e-governance increases the reach, right? It is the qualitative improvement. In fact, the e-governance is quantitative improvement. Qualitative improvement means how fast, how efficiently, how better you can provide the services. Whereas e-governance, up to what mass the services can be provided, right? So this remains more of this remains more of qualitative improvement. Of the government functions. This remains as the quantitative improvement. How many and up to what mass of the government. That's why e-governance is a broader term, is a broader method of doing the things, right? Then it is simply an e-government is simple infrastructure, or we can say it is a simple administrative process, right? This is a simple service delivery mechanism, right? This is simple processes of administration. These are simple delivery mechanisms also, right? In fact, e-government improves the access to information, right? The access to information, that means the number of stakeholders which are involved in an administration. The e-government strategies would increase the access of each and every stakeholder which is involved in administration to the information. Whereas this e-governance increases the interaction based on the information which is available. So this is for increasing information access. Whereas this is created, e-governance is created for information exchange and interaction. That's why it is far more broadened, right? It increases seamless government patterns. Seamless or paperless working patterns are being created. Rather, it increases the overall management of the government, right? So this provides seamless availability of government. At various levels, whereas this provides the efficient management or seamless governmental management. This is established with participation of officials and organizations and their participation. Whereas when we speak about e-governance rather, this is created by participation of public, government and all other stakeholders. Public, private, then we can say people also. They participate over here. So overall, in a sense, since it is dependent on the similar type of the tool, so there could be a synonymity or there could be a similarity, but e-government is a smaller term, rather e-governance is a bigger term, and it is far more, we can say, advanced form of e-government only, right? It is not only the electronic administration which is required, it is rather the electronic we can say utility which is generated in e-governance, right? So overall, e-government would be more electronically productive, right? And e-governance would be more electronically engaging, right? This increases electronic productivity rather this e-governance increases electronic engagement. Right? This only improves the work pattern. This in fact can improve the complete intellect of the government, society, the way it is being worked upon, right? So it would be for the governmental benefit only, rather it would be for the complete societal improvement, right? So this is governmental improvement, e-government. This is societal improvement that can be seen with e-governance. That is why e-governance has been relied upon as the foremost important factor, right? When we try to understand the characters of e-governance, then e-governance is smart governance. Smart being simple, moral, accountable, right, responsive and reliable and transparent. So they remain the characteristics of it, right? They remain the characteristics of it. When we try to identify the basic components which are being driven in e-governance, what are the basic components? Then the first and foremost component in e-governance are the different interfaces, the exchanges which are being created in e-governance, right? E-governance has multiple we can say exchanges or interchanges, and the major interfaces which are being created between different stakeholders in the society or overall across the government. Then the governments can participate themselves. This remains as one basic component of e-governance. That is called as government to government interface, also G2G, right? When center, state and local governments, they participate. So here itself we can define the basic characteristic of the e-governance also. And what that basic characteristic would be, that with enforcing e-governance, we try to provide the rights, or we enable or we empower the local governments, because there is a constant utility of the local governments which is being created, be it being planning, be it being implementation, be it being various different works which are required by the government, right? So the first aspect of it, it improves decentralization. Right? The rights of, we can say, the local governments or Panchayati Raj institution. Rights of Panchayati Raj starts, right? Or they are being fostered. Or a collaborative federalism is also created, where local governments, if they are being given rights, then the collaborative efforts are also being brought in. So it becomes collaborative as far as the government aspect is concerned. Then this directly relates with the benefits that can be provided to citizens. This directly relates to the benefits which can be provided to citizens, right? That is termed as government to citizen, G2C interface, which is being created. The citizens can also provide feedbacks to the governments. That is called as C2G, right? Citizens to government. That can also be enabled over here. Then the governments also help to improvise businesses, NGOs and the civil societies which are present, right? So that their works can be improvised, or they can also be empowered, or the hurdles, or in any form of policy which is to be implemented, or in any form of the benefits which can be gained by these, that can be improvised. Ultimately, this will in fact help to boost, or this will in fact provide the benefits to the citizen only, the indirect benefits to the citizen. Now there could be direct benefits, or there could be indirect benefits to the citizens that can be provided. That becomes G2B, government to business interface, which is created. And then the government also helps to tackle the problems of its employees, right? Electronic administration is there, so electronic administration is for the employees only. So the government to employees interface is also created, right? So ultimately, when we say the characters of e-governance, then e-governance is simple. It does not have very complicated mechanism. It has a very simple mechanism: computerization, networking, benefit sharing, right? Simple. There would be an ease of achieving the things into this. right? It would be moral. Why moral? Because the processes which are involved, they are more electronic processes which are involved, which can have various different types of the systems: management information, decision information, expert systems, GIS. The transparency of it is increased, right? So when the transparency of it is increased, obviously morality increases. Apart from this, it is moral in a sense. When we say e-governance is moral or ethical, or the overall processes of the government is more moral. Then why? Because it helps to reduce the problems which are relative to the shadow government which is being created, or the corruptions which are created in government systems. They can also be reduced. So it is more moral, it is more ethical, it is directed towards the basic logic of governmental benefits which are being created, right? So be it be a democratic government, be it be a constitutional government, or be it be a non-constitutional government, whichever way we say, we always require sorry for that, we always require that the government start to participate with the citizens, or looks up to the problems which are with respect to the citizens also, right? So when we try to understand the very basic cause of e-governance on a whole, the very basic cause of the e-governance on a whole is to supplement or provide the justice to the problems, or provide a just solution to the problems of the citizens, right? So e-governance, whether it is in a democratic country, e-governance, whether it is in a constitutional government, or whether it is also in non-constitutional government, the morality of it would be the citizen benefit, or morality of it would be delivery of citizen services only. So when we try to identify such nature of the solutions which are being created by e-governance, then e-governance on a whole would help to improvise the morality of the government also, right? Then it is accountable, of course, when it is 24/7 present, and there is a bi-directional communication. If there is a question which is being asked and which is available to which can be seen by all different types of the we can say stakeholders which are involved, if that can happen, then accountability itself increases, because the multi-mode supervision which is being created in this, every node in the e-government becomes accountable, because it is accountable not only to the senior or the official, but it is accountable to the citizens also, because there could be questions that can be raised on the overall working pattern. So accountability increases, the red tapeism decreases, efficiency also increases, right? Then it is more responsive. Response comes up to be immediate, right? The communication lag which is created between government and people, that is also reduced. So it is more responsive, it is more transparent, right? The work pattern is all open, is wide open. Awareness increases. People start looking on to the very basic factors of implementation of the policies, or utilization of various different types of the tools. Whatever may be the case, in that scenario, the overall transparency of doing the works increases, right? Then it fosters decentralization, the cooperative federalism can be brought in, the rights of the local governments can also be improvised, right? The Panchayati Raj institutions are re-established, or the utility of Panchayati Raj institutions can be re-established. The local planning can also come in. We have seen it in GIS also, the Bhuvan Panchayat. What is this? This is decentralized planning through the electronic mode only, right? Data is presented and the local governments are given rights, and local governments are being given the responsibilities of planning the things themselves, right? That also becomes one of the important aspect of it. And there are multiple examples of these different types of the interfaces which are being created. The first examples, government to citizen, there are multiple mode examples which are being given, like UID Aadhaar, the unique identification, and Aadhaar is the 12-digit code which is being created for the biometric identification of the citizens, which can be linked, or the biometric identification can be linked to the bank accounts, can be linked to mobile phones, and then direct benefit transfer through this particular platform starts. And that is government to citizen, right? iKar Setu, which is being provided, app is also available. The web portal is also available for taxation and income tax itself, right? Bhumi Rashi portal for online processing of the land revenue records. Then we have online digit calculator for the registration and identification of the companies, that is under the MCA also, right? Then governmental e-marketplaces are being created for transparent government to rather e-marketplaces for agriculture, right, for transparent sale of the agricultural products also, and to aware the farmers with the benefits which are being provided. Then e-portal for the telecom services is also being taken up. Then online filing up of the patents etc. can also be the citizen services which are being provided. Then e-citizen services like National Voters Portal, apply online for jobs, apply online for passport, for PAN, apply online for your driver's license or e-transport which can be provided. Booking up of the air tickets, booking up of the railway tickets is also one aspect of it. Then educational sector related services which are being provided like CBSE, Parinam Manjusha etc. which are being provided, or e-Basta initiative taken up by NCRT etc. for educational services, right. Then employment related services for employment provident fund management, EPFO, the permanent identification number is being provided to EPFO, right, or unique identification number is also now being created. The unique identification number, it is UID and UIN, two different things, right. Unique identification number is being provided to the PF and the provident fund accounts of a particular employee. If the employee leaves a particular company, then usually what happens that the bosses, they try to hinder this thing. They transfer the transfer or leaving up of the companies in a sense that they would say, okay fine, you leave, but I would not give you, I would delay your EPF. If the EPF is not transferred from one company to another company, EPF does not start over there, and it is the money of the employee only. It has been deducted from his salary, and the basic right to the EPF is with the employee only. But the bosses tries to manipulate over here, and ultimately sometimes employees, they end up remaining in that company. They leave their opportunities just for the EPF that they have, right, over here. So now the government has created the unique identification number, under which using the unique identification number itself, the portability options are also being provided. The employee itself can port from one company to other company. There is no direct involvement of the bosses in that, right. So that is also one initiative which is being taken up. Then grievance redressal mechanism, appellate committees are being created. Online appellation can also be made, right, for different things. Then public distribution system, JAM Trinity, which is being created, Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile, using which the public distribution services can be provided. That is also e-citizen services which are also being provided. Then various transport related services like that's what we have spoken of also, right. So these are certain government to citizen benefits which are being given. How citizens can benefit the government? They can provide feedbacks, right. There could be e-democracy which can be made. There could be e-feedbacks that can be created, citizen to government, right. So if the e-feedbacks are being accounted or quantified, then it will help to improvise the governmental functioning also, right. That is also one aspect of or one interface of it. Then we can have government to business interface, where government help to improvise the businesses, NGOs and civil societies, right. The important aspect of it can be for better understanding and coordination between government and businesses. Government to business portals can be created or interfaces can be created. Like for example, the DEEP portal that we have, discovery of efficient electricity prices, right. Businesses or the industries, they can directly search in the electricity prices or the billing or all sort of things they can be taken up with the DEEP portal. Then we have e-filing up of the taxes and returns by the enterprises. GST.in is one basic example where the business-based taxes can be paid through a single portal or through a single click. Now, many umbrella portals or single window clearances are being created for companies, registration, etc. also, for paying up of the dues also, for constant we can say annual general meetings, or we can say directors KYC. All of these, they can be made through the online portal itself. That is also one thing. Then government e-marketplaces, GEM, right. Government e-marketplaces where the businesses can register themselves and register for the sale or of the goods and materials to the government offices or different other public procurement, right. So GEM has become, government e-market has become a single portal where the public procurement can be induced and the companies can get registered and sell their products at a competitive price to the government with a minimum hindrance which is being created. So that is also the government e-marketplace which is being created. Then the handmade bazaar for handicrafts, etc. The samadhan, the MSME samadhan for to register the cases related to delayed payment, etc. They have also been created. Then the Parivesh portal is being created for environmental clearances by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change for different small, medium scale enterprises and etc. Then a web portal for medium scale and micro enterprises, also MSMEs, for their credit, loans, etc. Right. Then Shram Subhidha portal for clearances of the labor laws, etc. That has also been created for government to business. That is how businesses can be improvised, or ease of doing business can be improvised. Right. Then government to government interface is also being created between the governments. It is useful for a speedier flow of the information, instructions and compliances report for smooth functioning of the government departments. Right. E-courts, e-district, e-police, e-administration are some of the important aspects of the initiatives which are being taken up, or the examples of the interfaces which are being created over here. Then government to employee interface is also being created, where the employees can be benefited, where employees email are being created, right? Vacancy and recruitment notifications can be sent online. And then computer and mobile based registration of different applications, right? E-employees, we register for, or we fill up the forms, that is e-employee, or government to employee, right? Web and mobile based health information system for the employees, their pensions, their insurances, health records, all of these, they can be maintained through digital formats. That is also the e-employee, or the we can say government to employee benefits which are being given. The e-payroll, e-training also, these are also the government to employee benefits, or the characters which are being taken up. So this is how e-government has, or e-governance has a very large role to play with different interfaces which are being created, right? The list of this is being provided to you with the notes that I am providing to you for the classroom, right? Overall, when we look up to the significance of e-governance, we have seen majority of the things. Now quickly we can signify e-governance also. What remains as the basic advantage or benefit of we can say e-governance? E-governance benefits: the efficiency increases, right? Reduced delay in response. It becomes more transparent and accountable. That's what we have seen also. That is also one of the major benefit which is being driven. Reduces red tapeism, the bureaucratic hurdles, etc. And it also becomes cost effective, right? It is also speedy and robust. The time which is spent, that is also reduced, right? Then the government becomes 24/7 available also. 24/7 availability of the government and government based functionalities, or we can say functions, that is also empowered. Any kind of the governmental logjam reduces the bottleneck or the logjam that we have in the government and governance. That can also be improvised with the help, or that can also be reduced, in fact, in case of e-governance, right? The societal benefits that would be given: awareness and citizen services, they are also improvised with the help of e-governance, right? And in fact, this fosters knowledge society formation. This also increases participatory governance. When people start to participate with the government, participatory governance, right? Cooperative federalism. is also created, right? Then new digital tools, they are being created, new fields are also being created, more new employment opportunities which can be provided. Employment and skill development would also be fostered. E-learning, e-education, e-training which are being provided, that will also help to increase the benefits which are being provided to society, right? Innovations are being brought up, right? The overall leadership becomes improvised. The overall leadership becomes more responsive and accountable also, right? Morality of the government increases. And ultimately, the divide between the governments and the citizens because of communication lag, or the digital divide between the government and the citizens because of the technology gap which is being created. Because one part of e-governance would also be computerization and networking and providing the technical education also, right? So it also reduces the digital divide between different sectors of the society also. That can also be improvised. Information access, enforcement of law and order, quick, speedy and robust delivery of the services, all of these, they remain the benefits of the e-government, where e-governance is participated by e-government, e-democracy, e-services and e-administration. All of this holistically, when they are being participatory, then benefits are far more higher.